Help me to reach 2,000 subscribers. When I invited my husband to my office party, I didn't think twice about it. He'd always supported my career and celebrated every milestone with me. Working in a marketing firm meant long hours and constant pressure, but I was proud of how far I'd come. The party was at a luxury hotel downtown. Glass walls framing the city lights, the air buzzing with laughter, music, and the scent of expensive champagne. I arrived with my husband by my side, smiling, ready to introduce him to my colleagues and unwind after months of hard work. But the moment we stepped in, my stomach tightened. My boss Daniel was there, staring at me in a way that made my skin crawl. It wasn't admiration. It was possession, the gaze of a man who believed I was something he already owned. My husband noticed. I felt him tense slightly beside me, though he stayed calm. I forced a polite smile, pretending not to feel Daniel's eyes burning into me. Daniel strutted toward us like he was the center of the room, the kind of man who'd mistaken arrogance for confidence. His cologne arrived before he did, sharp and deliberate. "Olivia, you look incredible tonight," he said, his gaze lingering too long. I smiled out of courtesy, not comfort. He turned to my husband, extended a limp handshake, and said with mock friendliness, "You must be her partner." The deliberate pause was a jab, a way to downplay him. My husband," my husband replied evenly, shaking his hand with quiet strength. Daniel chuckled, eyes flickering in challenge. It was subtle, but I saw it. He wasn't used to being reminded of boundaries. Throughout the evening, Daniel kept inventing reasons to pull me aside, to talk about clients, to discuss future campaigns, to share a quick idea. Each time I hesitated, shot my husband an apologetic glance, and went. I didn't want to create a scene or risk my job. Still, his proximity made my skin prickle. His jokes often drifted into personal territory, and every so often his hand would brush against my back, light but unwanted. My husband stayed calm, watching, assessing, saying little. But I knew him. I knew every restrained muscle in his body was holding back a storm. At one point, while I was across the room, I caught Daniel talking to another manager, his eyes still fixed on me. His tone dripped arrogance. "She'll realize soon enough she deserves better than him," he said, as if my marriage was beneath him. My husband overheard. Moments later he came over, handed me a drink, and gently wrapped his arm around my waist. It wasn't possessive, it was protective. I felt my entire body relax. For the first time that night I felt safe. Then came the photo. The photographer called everyone together for a group shot. As people gathered, Daniel slipped beside me, smiling for the camera. I tried to step slightly away, but he shifted closer. And then his hand slid lower down my back, brushing my hip. I froze. Before I could react, my husband stepped forward and placed his hand between us, firm and unshakable. "Move it," he said quietly, his voice low but deadly calm. Daniel blinked, feigning surprise. "Excuse me," he sneered. "You think you can talk to me like that? Touch her again and find out," my husband said, locking eyes with him. The entire room went still. Conversations died mid-sentence. I could hear my heartbeat pounding in my ears. Daniel smirked, pretending not to care. "Relax, it's just friendly." "Friendly as a handshake," my husband cut in sharply. "What you're doing is harassment." The word struck the air like a slap. People nearby exchanged glances, whispers rippling through the crowd. Everyone knew. This wasn't new, just finally exposed. My husband continued, his voice steady but loud enough to carry. "I'm sure HR would love to review the history of your friendly behavior toward married employees." Daniel's confident mask cracked. His jaw clenched, his face reddening. "Watch yourself," he muttered. "I don't need to," my husband said with a calm smile. "You should be watching your career." Daniel tried to hold his composure, but I saw the panic flash in his eyes. What he didn't know was that my husband wasn't bluffing. He had proof, screenshots, emails, messages I'd quietly shown him after months of enduring Daniel's behavior in silence. He pulled out his phone, showing Daniel one of the messages. "Try anything again," he said quietly. "This goes straight to corporate and your wife." Daniel's entire expression changed. The smugness melted into fear. His lips parted, but no words came out. People around us turned away, pretending not to hear, but they'd heard everything. You don't get to intimidate my wife, my husband added, voice soft but cutting. Not here. Not ever. Daniel stepped back, muttered something under his breath, and slinked away toward the bar. Humiliated, cornered, exposed. The rest of the room shifted uneasily, pretending to resume normal conversation. I felt a rush of emotion, shock, relief, gratitude all at once. My husband turned to me, eyes gentle again. You okay? I nodded weakly, my throat tight. Yes, I whispered. Thank you. We left soon after. In the car, the weight I'd been carrying for months finally broke loose. Tears spilled down my cheeks, not from sadness but from release. I didn't want you to think I couldn't handle it, I confessed, voice trembling. He took my hand. Protecting you doesn't mean I think you're weak, he said softly. It means we're a team. I leaned against him, feeling a warmth I hadn't felt in so long, safe, seen, defended. Thank you, I whispered, for standing up for me. He kissed my forehead. Always. That night, we didn't just confront a bully. We reclaimed my dignity, my safety, and our peace. When Monday came, Daniel didn't show up at the office. HR called me in. After reviewing the evidence, they suspended him pending investigation. Rumor had it that the board got involved and his wife did too. A week later, he resigned quietly, before he could be fired publicly. That night at the hotel was the last time Daniel ever tried to cross a line. He thought power made him untouchable. But he learned something he never expected, that real power isn't control. It's respect. And he learned that some men don't bark to prove strength. They simply end careers when someone crosses the wrong line.